Alright, hello everyone. Welcome back to another video. This time I want to be talking about what I generally dislike about the updates that have been coming out on Shindo Life. Specifically Shindo Life, but I mean, plenty of games do this. I'm just saying Shindo Life because it's like the most recent game that I've played. Well, most recent game that I've played and uploaded. The main issue is that these updates that he's putting out, Rel Games, they're the developers and creators of Shindo Life, and well, let me just double check because they've made like 4 or 5 games that are all about Naruto and stuff. So just want to make sure I get all the bases and stuff before I just start spouting a bunch of nonsense. If I can find, there it is. So on their group, they have Shindo, which is Shindo Life, but it stands for all of them. Some side games that they've created was Row Piece, which was decent. I liked it. Aside from that, they made Shindo Origin. They made Plus Ultra and Plus Ultra 2. I don't know if there's a Plus Ultra 1, but there's a Plus Ultra 2. They made a Star Wars Legacy Life game. It's just Star Wars game. These guys also own BB Studios. If you don't know all this stuff, I'm probably going to try and link all this stuff in the description below. But in there, they made Beyond, Eating Simulator, which I guess I'll just exclude those because those aren't really that well known. But they made Beyond, Row Piece, Shinobi Origin, Injustice OA, if anyone knows what that is, Plus Ultra, Dragon Bloxverse, I've never played that, Ninja Life, Realms of Magic, I've never played that, but aside from those are like kind of the general games that you expect coming out from these guys. A bunch of ninja games, that fun stuff. Now, the actual issue that I see all the time in Shindo or Shindo Life, whatever you want to call it, or Shindo Life 2 if you want to call it that, is... Oh, I forgot to mention, the original Shinobi Life, or whatever it was called, I don't remember the name of it. I mean, it doesn't really matter. I could probably check my inventory and see what it is. While I'm checking that, I'm going to keep talking about this. Basically, all these updates that he's putting out new stuff. Meanwhile, not too long ago, not too many updates ago, he was talking about how he wanted to put out less new stuff and wanted to work on old stuff. And then he proceeded to start putting out new game modes and new things the update after. So that's just one thing. I mean, what do you do? If I could find this, it would be great. But if that's the case, if you want to start putting out new stuff, don't say you're going to work on old stuff first and then do that, because that just makes you look like a hypocrite. And being a hypocrite in this world is just, ooh, that's not right. You can't do that. Yeah, it is called Shinobi Life, but you can't do that, or you shouldn't do that. It's not that you can't, but you should not do that. And especially so whenever you get angry at your community, well, maybe not angry, but you start acting hostile towards your community, at least in a video, and you call them out on something, which I'm not necessarily a part of the community, so I can't really say too much about that because I don't know what's happening. But you called your community out on, saying, oh, this is just a big AoE move, just another one of those, how annoying. Which, in reality, it is. This is like the 5th move that has had a massive AoE, but nothing very specific and pinpoint. Which, I'd like to see that. Stuff like Dangon, I think it's Dangon. But stuff like that, where you have to actually aim, although aim assist does really help, it's really cool. adds another level of gameplay. You can play ranged rather than being all up in your opponent's face trying to stop them from using jutsu. And then you could try and fight the enemy trying to get it towards you. But yeah. So the other problem that I had was, or actually let me just continue on about, new content you're adding. If you're going to go back and fix anything, start fixing or start changing stuff like the war mode. Like, at least for me, I have the biggest issue with war mode because of how fast you made the bosses. Or he made the bosses. I can't really direct this to him because this is just generally talking about the updates that have been coming out. But change the boss's health or damage at least if you're going to increase their speed that much. Or they're moving about as fast as a tailed beast in Sixth Paths mode. So, why are you just leaving it like that? I don't understand why you have them dealing 20, 30k whenever they're moving faster than a player in the Six Paths mode. Or, well, as fast as somebody in that mode, slightly slower. I just don't get it. It's silly. The infinite stun lock that the tailed beasts have you put in, or can put you in, is also ridiculous. I'm not going to complain too much about that because it's supposed to be a team fight. You're supposed to fight tailed beasts as a group. And same for, the what's it called? The Susanoo spirits. But whenever they can take your mode and catch up to you easily, that is ridiculous. The Bankai spirit has such an insane effect because if he uses his special skill, like the slashes, even if you're blocking, it erases your block essentially in like one hit, and then you lose 6,000 mode because he launches like 4 or 5 slashes at you, taking away 2,000 mode each time, and each time that hits, whenever you're not blocking, it takes away 2,000. So that's ridiculous. And the fact that he could just catch up to you right after that, you can't escape. It's silly. I don't understand why you left that as that is, or why they left that as that is. But moving on, I think the war mode is fine aside from that one boss. I think the revamp on the bosses makes them a little bit more fun. Of course, some people might not agree with that because they don't have all the things that I have, because they don't have a private server creating, or they don't have a friend that can get them private servers, which it makes sense because not everyone's going to be able to do that. Not everybody has time for that, and obviously I do. So yeah, moving on. Other game modes. I can't really speak for the arena game modes because I don't really like PvP. It's just not my thing. But I mean, I don't really think anything needs to be changed in there. If anything does get changed, then that's on somebody else to make a video or talk about it with them. Then Bloodlines. Oh, wow. Bloodlines. So, let me talk about how Bolt used to be actually really good. But it was changed, and now it's just mediocre. It's not bad, but it's not good. If the third move was what it was originally, it would be amazing. But no. You know what he did? He looked at Azim Senko, saw the third move of that, and said, I'm going to take that exact move and put it on Bolt. Maybe it was the second move of Azim Senko. It doesn't matter, because it is literally the exact same move. Oh, but he could have retextured it. No. It's not retextured. Nothing has changed. It has the same name. I think the only thing that's different is the picture it has. Which that might not even be different. It has the same name. It does the exact same thing, and it has the exact same effect. And the exact same radius, or range, and radius of the, explosion, whatever you want to call it. And you do the exact same thing. You spawn a clone, you teleport up into the air a little bit, you fly at somebody with a giant electric ascend gun. That's it. It's the exact same. And I hate it. But aside from that, you see stuff like well, I can't even list anything specific, but more with the elements. Uh, all the new elements are just slightly better versions of the older elements. They just have more, but all the moves are the exact same. Which I understand there's no reason to have to recreate every single move and create a special move, but some of them are the exact same. And even one of the moves from Mud, or not Mud, Cement, are just a copy of the lava move, the freaking lava floor. Or very similar, except it stuns for a lot longer. So, I'm saying, if you're gonna be angry at your community for calling you out on making big moves constantly, just giant AoE moves all the time, then stop putting them out. Start revamping older things. Start changing things like, what's it called? Ice. I saw that he actually was changing some of that. So Glacier, I meant. But start changing that. Start changing freaking, what's the name of it? Ketsuryugan. Well, I don't even remember the name of it in this game. Yeah, what am I to talk? I don't even know the names of them. But start changing these things that are awful and have very little use. Or start changing the things that are insanely OP, like wow, I am having the biggest brain fart right now. The Tsukiyomi from Bankai Akuma. Change that from a 9 or 10 second genjutsu to like a 5 at most. There's no reason for you to be out for 9 seconds while the enemy can do anything they want during that time. Meanwhile, the reality talk does its very similar thing, except just you can't do anything while, and nobody can do anything during that. Unless there's another person. And then, if you're going to talk about giant AoE moves being, or people complaining about giant AoE moves, look at the past 4 new things. You have, let me actually open the wiki. Because there's so many things that are literally just the exact same. You have Renshiki, Shindai Akuma, Riser Akuma, and what else? There's one more new bloodline. Well, I guess I'll just say Dangan. All of these have at least one move that's a massive AoE that you can fire from a very far distance. At least Dangan has a move that you can fire from a very far distance, has a massive AoE, and a stun on top of that. The second move. Or actually, no, I think it's the third move. This is Springfield. The second move is counter. Shindai Akuma. I think, what is it, the first move? Let me double check. Sunlight Devastation. The second move. You bring down a giant meteor from the sky and it explodes. It has a very similar explosion radius of the arena in what's it called? The Leaf Village. Then you have the samurai. What even was it? Oh yeah, the third move, the genjutsu. A massive range. Unless, I don't even think you can block it. So, there's those 2 moves in one thing, and you can't even say that, oh, it's just a very rare thing, so obviously it's going to be really good. Okay, that doesn't change the fact that it's really massive AoE massive AoE, hitbox. So, you can't complain about your community saying, oh yeah, everything's just massive AoE. It's what they all are. The second move from, the third move from Renshiki. You throw a Spirit Bomb, massive AoE. Well, maybe not massive, but a very large AoE, similar to Dangan. The second move also has a decent AoE. The mode attack also has an AoE. All of these have AoEs. The Q move even has a very small AoE. You can't be saying that you can't tell people off for complaining about something that is true. and then say, oh, you're supposed to feel like the protagonist of this. Yeah, but don't make it OP. Don't make it so that people can't fight against it. And I'm not saying all of this is unable to be countered. You can counter it if you're good enough at the game, which is not the point here. The point is that, actually, this is a whole separate point of what I was originally talking about. But the point I'm making here is, you're complaining about something that people are complaining about whenever they're right. If that makes any sense. You are complaining about people being right. And, I mean, Riser just has the Q spirit move, apparently. If that got changed. I don't think it did, but who knows. The Q move has, the bunch of slashes. And let me go back to my original point. Copy and paste. You literally just make something directly from the original thing. Riser Akuma and Bankai Akuma are literally the exact same. They have slight differences. And I'm talking about, like, the spirit. Like, the forms are the exact same. It's the same for almost all of the custom Sharingans. Do you want to know why? Because they all have the exact same spirit. The first move, the first transformation, just gives them the exact same buff for all of them, I believe. Their C specs are just slightly different, or not slightly different, but their C specs are definitely different. But those are like only the only differences. The pattern on the eyes is also a different thing, but that's really not that much. And then if you look at the model of the true samurai spirit is what it's called, of the Bankai Akuma and the Riser Akuma. Everything but their shield is the exact same. If you look at just the model of every true samurai spirit, they're all the exact same. They just have different weapons, which is understandable. There's no reason to have to recreate every single one. But, I mean, even the, what's it called, is a little bit different, though. So, I'll get into that in a minute. But there's no reason to recreate them all to be different, but there's no reason to create them to look the exact same and half of their moves do the exact same thing. Like, for example, the second move of Riser Akuma and the second move of Bankai Akuma. You teleport two people with a Riser Akuma, and they're put under a Genjutsu for some amount of time. It doesn't really matter how much time, but the only difference between that and the Tsukiyomi from the Bankai Akuma is that you teleport to them. And then I guess the Genjutsu itself is a little bit different. So, the first move, invincibility, and then you teleport back to where you originally started, which is that part of it is the exact same. But the only difference between those two is Riser Akuma puts people under a Genjutsu whenever they teleport back. As long as they're close enough. Which, first off, being invincible, and then if somebody isn't blocking, then them taking that much damage, and then you could dash. I'm not even going to talk about how stupid that is. So yeah. I mean, that pretty much ends the rant right here, because I don't even want to talk about how Tengoku, Sengoku, and the Ten Tails are the exact same, essentially. All have the exact same looking model. But it makes sense because they're all 6 paths, technically. But here's something else. All of the tailed beasts are the exact same after you get 6 paths. Exact same. They don't even have special effects on the Z spec anymore. I think the right mouse button Q specs have different, effects, but aside from that, the only difference is that the 7 tails can fly, and the rest of them can't, other than the 10 tails. The left click does the exact same whenever you're in the Z spec. The left click... Actually, I don't even think there is a right mouse button Z spec anymore. So, there's that. And the normal Q is the exact same on all of them. The right mouse button Q is just the right mouse button C of the previous form for all of them. So yeah, there's that. Let me talk about the new weapons that came out. So the brand new weapon that came out, it was a fan. It was the freaking Shindai Umpire fan. First off, it is just a copy of the original fan, I believe. The Umpire guitar. No, not the Umpire guitar, my bad. The Umpire fan. Was that it? The forged Umpire fan. If the move is what I think it is. Yes. It is just a copy of that, except it does slightly more damage, and it has black flames. Let's talk about the Chi Blades that came out previously, or like 2 updates ago, I believe. 2 updates that actually changed things, by the way, not just updates ago. That's only 4 of them. Let's see. I have the Ember, Haze, Dunes, Nimbus, and Obelisk. Now let's see if I can actually remember all the moves that half of these are copied from. Ooh, the Alpha Rama Blade is what the Dunes Chi Blade was copied from. The Ember Blade, I think that's, if I can remember the name of it. Dang. I gotta look it up. But I definitely do remember it. It is definitely a different one. It is copied off of the, was it the Shiver Tonto? It was not the Shiver Tonto. Was it, let's see. Not the Nimbus Sword. The Nimbus Sword was another one, I believe. Let me open that for later. Was it the Samurai Tonto? No, I don't think it was. Was it the Shindo Blade? It was the Saberoo Tonto, I believe. Let me double check that. Yes, it was. It is a exact copy of the Saberoo Tonto, except it is red and does fire. Next up, a Haze Blade. Ooh. Oh, this was easy. The Ryon Blade, I believe. Let's see. Oh, I think I already passed it. Where is it? Yeah, the Ryon Blade. Alright. Nope, I was wrong. It was one of those. Was it Satori? It was not Satori, I don't believe. It was one of the top ones. It was not Satori Blade. It was not Nimbus Sword, but Nimbus Sword was a different one. Here it is. It was the Samurai Tonto that the Haze Blade was copied off of. Except I think it does slightly more damage, and the effect of it is blue instead. Ooh, this is easy. The Nimbus Blade is a copy of the Grass Tonto. They do the exact same thing. I don't think there is any difference in the two. Maybe more damage. Actually, no. It looks like the Grass Tonto actually does more damage. The Nimbus Blade seems to hit longer. Obelisk Chi Blade. Oh, I was right. It was the Nimbus Blade that the Obelisk Chi Blade was based off of. Fun. And you know what else was like the Obelisk Chi Blade? Or Nimbus Blade. Or Nimbus Sword, sorry. This first move, actually. The second move was just a projectile, which was very similar to every other move in the game. But the first move of Bolt is very similar to, in fact, almost the same as the Nimbus Chi Blade. Or Nimbus Sword. So, yeah. That pretty much ends it. I don't really have any much more to complain about. This is literally just me complaining about the moves being very similar to, if not the exact same as other moves from other things in the game. Which makes sense because it's obviously a lot of work to put into it if you're trying to like get something done in a limited amount of time. So sorry if anyone watching this took offense. I mean, I don't mean it to be offensive. I mean it to just point out the flaws, or perhaps not the flaws, but, you know, the seemingly laziness of the development on this game. Uh, Also, the yin yang, they are just the exact same, except one's blindness, one's, darkness. Uh, I think that's everything. Th- throwables seem to have like no difference in any of them. I like how the consumables actually do make a difference between each other, but the throwables, I mean, a few of them are different, but like the Dongai throw, the shurikens, the windmill, the demon toss, maybe the demon toss. I think the demon toss hits multiple times. The needle toss, the chi rod toss, the bat toss Halloween, the ice shurikens, all of them do very similar things. The reason I say this is because the ice shuriken just freezes them. The bat toss Halloween, it just... I actually don't remember what it does. I think it just, like, stuns them for a second or so. Yeah, it's just electricity. The chi rod toss just takes a little bit of their chi. The needle toss just poisons them. I think the demon toss is supposed to, like, rotate in place if you land it right, but that only happened once for me or something, so, The Dongai bomb is just literally explosive paper and Dongai throw combined. The Dongai flash bomb is, like, the most unique move of the game, in fact. It's, well, maybe not, actually. I take that back. It's the most unique throwable in my eyes. The windmill does the exact same thing as the shurikens, except it only hits once. It just does the same amount of damage, I believe. But yeah, I mean, all of the throwables are different in a way, but at least 30% of them are the exact same. Consumables are all different in their own way. They all do different things. I think the soldier pill actually got buffed earlier today. Or not earlier today, but earlier. Interesting. Well, anyway. That pretty much concludes this. I'm done complaining about this. If you disagree with me, then you can tell me why you disagree. If you agree, then leave a like. I don't know. But I'm not going to talk about the game modes, because I think I've already dragged this out way too long. 27 minutes. Companions. I'm not going to talk about them either. Companions just use one move. I've rarely ever seen anybody use a companion. That's just... I think companions should be better as well. Just saying that before I go. Have a good day.